Hello, hello. What is going on with my streams? I just got notification that I can only stream like in 23 hours. But what the reason? Oh no, everything is good. Hello everyone. And this is the Elite stream which I planned on July 26th. July 26th was the release date, of course. I should have streamed the release date, but I've tried to rewatch and find more content, and it seems like the new season is not actually that bad that I expected it to be. So it's definitely not the worst season, but it has a lot of like stupid things, a lot of weird, stupid, like ridiculous shit. And we're gonna discuss a lot of characters because the only thing I really do is character, and the character is the core of any project. It's no matter actually whether it's Elite or just a movie or just in any other project. The main point, the core is a character. So this time I assume that the main character is still Isadora. Somehow she is still the main character, but I don't really understand why she would be the main character, since we have Omar back, we have Nadia back, we have a lot of other really good characters, and I prefer, like personally, I prefer the main character to be the Eric or his girlfriend, of course, or not Omar or Nadia, of course, but they were the fucking OG characters, so they could have been potentially main characters, but I think that they didn't make them main characters because we've got a lot of new characters, so they had to represent new characters in like the best possible way. So like more screen time, more dedication to new characters, and more effort into like creating that, I think they tried to pave a new way, like it is the last season, but they tried to pave a new way to find like probably new project or something. I think Elite is completed, but it could be just another title, and the franchise in general is not completed. It's only the Elite. It's only Elite is completed, but the franchise in general is not completed yet, and the ending is pretty simple to understand that it's not completed yet. And we've got the cliffhanger that something will be going on still, just because all the students, all the guys, they still going to school, but the other school, not the Las Encinas one. So that makes sense. But if it's actually completed, I will not be upset actually, because it probably should have completed like it should have concluded the whole project like long ago, after season 4 probably, or even early. But again, it's not the worst season. It's definitely not the worst season. So the season 8 started with another party, which is the end of the year, and it's like open air party. We've got some random lesbians. Here is Sarah, and I think we can really start with her character, because she really she came, if I remember correctly, she came in last season, and this is her last season. So season 7 and season 8, like 2 seasons to develop character. And the only question is, did they really manage to develop that character perfectly, or even enough, to understand her? I think somehow she got less screen time in this season. In season 8, I was wondering like where the fuck Sarah is, because like episode 1, she got some screen time, but by the end of every episode, it feels like she's not getting enough screen time. She's not any around, and I miss her, because she played a vital role in season 7, but they kind of ignored her in this season somehow, for some reason. I don't know why, but it feels like she didn't get enough screen time to develop her character, kind of like to complete point. So as far as Sarah is concerned, she got her revenge on Raul's death, and she found out that his death was not an accident and not a suicide, and she definitely got her revenge. But before that revenge, before the last episode, she didn't do a lot of things as she did in previous season, and I think that it's a big mistake actually to not put her in more situations, in more dialogues, just to, like showcase her character in more interesting ways. So we could definitely perceive her as a comprehensive character and understand her actions more. But at this point, it's only like, she got her revenge, but she did nothing before, and she did nothing to get that revenge, actually, because she was just, she was actually doing nothing throughout the season. And it feels so bad, actually, because the character is pretty interesting, and her relationship with Raul in season 7 was kind of toxic, but it was interesting. The Raul character was interesting, no matter how bad he was, no matter what he did, but he was still interesting character because the actor was pretty talented, I think. Yeah, he is a talented actor, and I don't know why they didn't put more of of her character. Like, they could have done something like, she's trying to find new way, of course. She's trying to get new life, and they did it with Nico. They tried to be together or something, and there was some hanging out situation. They actually slept with each other once in season 8, but that really didn't do anything with the whole season, because there was like only one situation, actually, and it doesn't really do anything with any other character, actually. The other person, the other character, is this guy who's definitely one of the most interesting personalities of the new season, and because I never seen this actor before, but he's damn good at acting, actually. He's damn fucking talented. I think that if we got season 9 or 10, he will be definitely the most like interesting and the main character of the TV show. So he definitely is the one of them, like, of those who pull off the season 8. And because of his character, I've tried to rewatch the whole season, because I didn't understand first time I watched, I didn't understand a lot of dialogues because it was in Spanish, but then I've got the English version, so I rewatched in English, and his dialogues specifically was pretty good written, and his relationship with his sister is goddamn good, because his sister is goddamn perfect character and perfect, probably talented actress. And I've never seen her before, of course, somehow. So we've got three more like new characters, like one brother and sister, and the other one was, I don't remember actually. It seems like only two characters. It doesn't really matter because these two are pretty good, and I think that like they could have even got rid of Isadora, like completely, just throw her out of the project, because her character, she got her revenge. She was raped, and after that she got her revenge on that, you know. So there is nothing I could have expected from her character, because she did all she actually could, and there is no reason to put her that much, because she seems to be the main character of the last 3-4 seasons. But it's okay. It was okay with season 6, season 7, but this season is not her season. It's not about her, but it seems like they were trying to put her more than any other character, and I have no reason. I actually don't see any reason to put her that much, because she's not like, she's not that interesting anymore, actually. After she got her revenge, I don't wanna see her anymore, actually, because at this point they just try to drag out her presence in the project and drag out the like the conclusion of her storyline. But it was concluded long ago. It was concluded in season 7, and she's still there somehow, and she's getting a lot of screen time. So this guy is who is the main character, who is the new character. He's now the main character. He is the boy like from some association that is trying to gather people that are rich, and they are trying to serve pleasure, serve young boys and like young girls. I know it might be sound like terrible, but they are selling students for rich people, and that rich people are actually involved in that circle of powerful of powerful persons, and each of them actually is kind of big person, and they all gathered for one reason, to get to get involved in like in to get involved in pleasure with young people, with students from Las Encinas, and it is actually terrible. It sounds pretty bad, but it's precise depiction of the whole project, because Elite is pretty simple and it consists of a lot of like, sex scenes, like drug using, potty, and all that stuff. And I think it's pretty precise depiction of like of the whole project. So his sister is pretty tough person. She's trying hard to to get between his brother and Joel. You probably know that he's not a new character, but she kind of a new character, because we've got him in season 7 and he's still somehow a newest one, but we already know like that he's kind of I think he was kind of it was a replacement for under character, because Elite always has the main couple, the main gay couple, and it's also like the center, the core of the project. The gay like couple, not the lesbians, they tried to put lesbians, and I think it worked somehow. But the core of the project, it feels like it's a gay couple, and after under Omar, all that guys, it feels even more that they're trying to, they're trying to navigate the season to that direction, like where the main point, the core of the project is still a gay couple somehow, and the new guy with Joel is that core of the season. And I don't know if they are really a good couple, or if they are really like good together, or if it really works or it not. But it feels like they've got a lot of screen time, and this is why I think a gay couple is still the main focus of the project, of the Elite overall, because they got really the more screen time than any other character. And why would you give more screen time someone unless you're trying to make him like uh, the core, you know. And his sister, I don't remember actually. Her name was pretty difficult to remember. Her name was pretty exotic. I don't remember at all, even the slightest. I have no idea what her name was, but she got some pretty good scenes with her brother, and uh, again, dialogues were interesting to listen to. But as a standalone character, I think they could have done more with her, because there was the only scene that involves her and Eric, and this is that scene when they were in the swimming pool. So this scene is the only one that somehow, represents her in like involving in kind of elite style situation. And this is the only one actually, but I think like they could have put her more in that type of scenes, like, because this is elite, and the only way to depict character like as elite character is put that character in kind of party situation, because parties, kissing, all that stuff that are like depiction of the elite actually. As I said before, precise depiction, because not anything else but sex, drugs, and all that party, all that stuff depict elite more, not anything else. I don't know who that girl is actually. I don't think that we must have, that we must have discussed her or something, because I just don't know a lot of her. So we just try to move on. And here is, we have Chloe, and I think that Chloe is somehow replacement for it feels like she is replacement for, oh my god, I just forgot all the fucking names. Okay, never mind. So Chloe is pretty, she's kind of a snake. She's kind of represents that sort of characters that is trying to get whatever she wants, whatever it takes actually, and they repeated it plenty of times, that no matter what it takes, she got it, no matter what it takes actually. And it actually resembles me, the other character from OG Elite, which name I don't remember actually, I forgot. So while she is trying to get between get between every couple, every dialogue, every circle of her friends, or any other association, there was the main there was the main point of her character in season 8, and that was alumni association. It's called alumni. I don't know what that name means. Alumni is association, and that association is that who is trying to sell students or young persons to rich people, and that association is ruled by this girl and her brother Hector. So it's her brother, and that association involves actually a lot of main characters, and Chloe, one of those. She involved in that association. Somehow she was trying to get in that alumni club, and she did a lot of dirty things, to diminish her best friends, to put on spot her best friend just to get into that club. And she actually she did pretty bad things throughout the season 8 just to get what she wants. And finally she got into that alumni association. But after that, after she got in, it feels like there was no any other point of her in the whole season, because she got what she wants. But after that, the only reason why she's still there is that she's trying to help her mother somehow, And we all know what her mother did in season 7. But in this season, actually, I don't think that Chloe got enough development, and I don't think that she actually did her best to to represent her character, probably because they have already made her as the that bitch character, and we all it's we only can perceive her in that way because they made it look like that. But they could have actually made her more difficult and more complex, complicated character, And actually, I think there is pretty missed opportunity for using her as the main character, because she could have been the main character. Not Isadora. We've got Isadora like a lot of times. We've got her from season 4 or 5, I don't remember, to this last season. And I think the Chloe could have been really just pretty good replacement for Isadora character, actually. So this guy actually, he's interesting as he not actually going to La Encina's school. He's only a friend of Omar, and he is a friend of everyone, actually, but he's not a attendee of that school, actually. So he kind of involved in every fucking situation, even though he's not going to that school. He's still somehow involved in every fucking dialogue, in every fucking scene. And he even got the fucking Chloe in his place, and they actually slept with each other, but I didn't see it coming, just because it was made on purpose, and that purpose was that Chloe was trying to seduce him, and use him as a, like, as a tool, as an instrument for her mother free, to get her mother free, and to avoid that punishment for getting killed Raul. She was trying to get between this dude and her best friend. So she did it. This is her best friend, and this girl and this guy, they are together. At some point, Chloe got between them, and she like almost got them separated, and she almost got them break up, actually. And this is the best way to represent Chloe character. Like, her main ability is to getting between people who really love each other, and she gets between them, and she tries to get them somehow separated, and get them somehow hate each other or something. And while they're not completely like broken up or something, Joel and Ivan they actually broke up like a couple of times already, and in season 8 it's again after Ivan arrived from Africa. He was in Africa, and somehow he even partook in other project, that is blood and water, which is South Africa project. So she did partake in that project, and after that project, or simultaneously, she was partaking in Elite 8 production. So after he arrived from Africa, he and Joel again, they are together. But Joel, he was somehow involved in that alumni club, where only rich people, and this is one of those rich influenced people who is trying to expand their power, or expand their influence, actually, and by getting whatever they want, by getting whatever it takes, they are expanding their influence, and they're getting every fucking person they want, So they wanted Joel to be their teddy boy, or to be their, actually, like, sexual toy, sex toy, whatever you call it. They actually got him, and I think from that point his life was pretty ruined already, and his life was pretty ruined even from the start of the season, because he got no money, he got no actually home, he was homeless, he was broke, and he was no work. He has work, but that delivery company he worked at, I think that he didn't make a lot of money there, so he tried to find like a new way, possible way to get more money, to make more cash, and this couple actually paid him tons of money just for pleasure he served, so he kind of sold himself, and after he did it, so his life getting even worse, because it turned out that this association, alumni, it has a lot of worse, bad people involved, and some of those are really like influenced people, or just bad persons, with bad intentions. Even Chloe, right there, she is there, and she was kind of involved in the murder, and she was involved. She actually involved in the main uh, murder of the season. And if you watched already, you probably know that the guy who is get killed is Joel. So he got killed in this place, not specifically in this room, but in this place overall. Like, and Chloe was actually doing some recording. She was doing record. She put her phone to record all the stuff that happened in that place, and she recorded actually everything that happened in that place, and she recorded even the murdering of Joel. Of course, she recorded the killer. She recorded everything, and they used it as the evidence. Of course, is like the undeniable evidence. So this is the pretty all about the season 8, like the association, the fucking association that is trying to, like expand itself in every possible way, and crazy people involved there. They're trying to, like get young people, they actually buying them, and all their lives, like on the edge of like the end, actually, because they all are in the same like they all are like, involved in that shit. But this is not all the character that I want to discuss. And if I miss someone, I can do that later, because I don't remember if there anyone besides them, actually. I don't want to discuss the comeback of Nadia character, because there was fucking no reason for her to come back. I think the only reason they do that for OG viewers, or just to get more people watching it. But I don't think that she's any interesting anymore. She was not actually interesting even in any other season. So they could have got back any other character who is way more interesting than Nadia. Even this girl, who is newest one, she is the newest. She's just arrived, but he's way more interesting than Nadia, because they trying to, represent Nadia as she's the only one student that got good good after, like, good life after graduation, and she's studying in New York, in the United Nations or something, some shit like this. So they trying to represent her as the only one character that is actually succeeded in some way, after graduation. But I don't really care about that, because elite is not about, like, educational or something like, succeeding after graduation, your graduation, because it's definitely not about that. We can see actually that Omar is still working as the head waiter. He is still a waiter at the club, and he is still working in that position. So it seems like the contrast between, like, poor and rich, there is not even, like, distinguishable contrast. We cannot see actually that contrast, because either Omar or Joel, they are both poor, broke, wherever you call it. They are both trying to get by, actually, but Joel is still going to that La Encina school, but Omar, he's already graduated, and there is no differences. There is no actually difference between them. They even live in the same fucking apartment, So life has changed less for Omar after he's graduated, and life only changed for Joel when he got into that association who sell, who sell prostitutes for rich people, And actually Joel at this point, he didn't even realize that he is a prostitute. He was trying to, find another word for that kind of work, but there is no any other word. You're trying to sell yourself to reach people for money. The only word is prostitution, and it could have been another way, but it's still prostitution, no matter what or how you do that. If you sell yourself for money, it is a prostitution. And if other people get involved in getting pleasure by buying you, it is a prostitution, because they actually do all that sort of things that prostitutes do. The prostitutes do the same things as that people doing that association, the alumni association. And I don't know why they actually, I don't know why they brought that association into the new season, like why they did that actually, because we didn't see any like this before in this project. Actually, in Elite there was no evidence of like being a prostitute and somehow being a main character. Anyone like any other character from any other season, the only one character I remember who was kind of selling himself, that was actually Mencia. Yeah, and she did that actually plenty of times in season 5, if I remember correctly. She was the only one. But my point is why they made actually that like the type of activity like the main focus of the season. I don't understand actually why they made the main point, the core is that activity and that gathering of people who is not actually good to watch. I didn't actually enjoy to watch them doing that stuff because it wasn't actually like it wasn't at the right place or something. I don't know. It cannot be perceived as Elite anymore. Like at this point they expanded, the project like too much. It feels like it's not Elite anymore. It's kind of out of style or something, because we used to get them doing that shit like privately or in school or anywhere else, but not at this kind of place, with a lot of people involved. So I don't think that was a good idea to put this fucking association or whatever it is. I don't think that was a good idea actually, and probably this is the worst moment about the season 8, that they actually made this fucking alumni like the main point of the season, and everyone is trying to get in that alumni, but it doesn't feel like it's something really important, because there are a lot of other association, even more influence, even more important, to get in. And I don't know why like this should be actually interesting, you know. Like I personally, I prefer something like traditional, like, you know, like this, where they are really doing what we used to watch, you know. They really just spending time together in any possible way, but not this way. This is the most terrible, probably. This is the worst, like, way to spend your time alone, you know. And they made it actually the a center of the season. So, and while we cannot actually feel a lot of influence or importance of that alumni association, we can actually feel the influence of of ruling persons who is in charge of that association, because they are pretty good actors and they serve their characters pretty good, but their association, that club, is pretty bad, because I wish that never exists, you know. Because if that alumni never exists, it would have been way more interesting to watch, just because it would not be that overwhelming, you know, because it's too much when we've got Las Encinas, we've got a lot of parties going, we have a lot of actions simultaneously, like, you know, murder, investigating, and traditionally we get every character getting interrogated, and everyone has his point on what happened. Everyone has his personal view on what happened to Joel. So that is really interesting. That is what we actually used to watch in Elite. Interrogation, investigation, finding like murder, killer, murderer is not obviously the main character. If you already know who he is, he's not a main character. So this is not a new thing. We've got a lot of like this previously, when murderer is not the main character or even supportive character. He's somehow, like, you know, mediocre. But I expected, actually, the only thing I expected from this season is more OG to come back, more OG characters to come back, and more like classic, that typical, like, basic probably type of scenes, but the main like disappointment of the season, like, for me, it was actually this shit with alumni and that association. Any other aspect or moment would be actually way better without that shit, because we would have got more development of the main characters. We would have got more screen time for new characters and the newest ones if that alumni didn't exist, because it feels actually like there is a lack of screen time. For example, for Eric character, or for like his brother, cousin, whoever he is. And there is definitely lack of screen time for this girl, not for Chloe, but for probably Dalmar. He's not getting a lot of screen time, but he got more than he was getting in previous season, probably. I don't actually remember if he even was in previous season, but there was some black guy. I don't remember actually if that was him. So just get rid of the fucking prostitution situation, and it would have been way better. Actually, it would have been the perfect conclusion for the whole elite project, just one thing to get rid of, and here you go. Because the beginning was pretty exciting, and I was excited till that fucking alumni association comes out, because elite was never about selling yourself or being a prostitute. Elite was never about that, and it was probably close to that, but it was never that. So this time they actually made it being that, and it feels terrible actually. Because everything that is actually happened, that was represented as something appropriate or acceptable, to perceive. And I think a lot of young people, a lot of young viewers, they can actually perceive that, alumni shit as something that is really like, important or something to dream of, like just imagine if there is some place where everyone dreams of to get in. Imagine if there is some place that everyone can make tons of money from, and it could be perceived in a wrong way, like that everywhere around the world this type of places exists, and around the world actually you can find plenty tons of places like this. So, and some people can actually perceive that type of work or that type of places in a wrong way, even though they trying to teach us that this is not a good thing, this is not a good way to make money, and this is not a good attitude, towards your future or your career. It's not that important. You just put that shit, and not everyone understands your point, Not every person on this planet is smart enough or aware of what happens, So some person can just easily perceive that shit in a wrong way. And I see a lot of comments like, not a lot of, but I actually can see comments like young girls, they actually enjoying new season just because there was a lot of that dirty stuff. There was a lot of like dirty shit with this stuff like alumni association. Because they actually kind of romanticize. They are romanticizing those who are in charge of that club. They are romanticizing them, and they trying to represent them as people who's trying to make like other people's lives better, who is trying to make others experience better. So they romanticizing that, and I don't feel like they punished them enough for their actions. Like, neither this guy nor his sister was punished enough for their actions. Actually, they're almost like, gone scot-free. Actually, they almost got off scot-free, and they didn't actually pay a lot of for what they did. But I think that they could have paid way more for their actions. So if you're trying to actually represent something as not acceptable or inappropriate, you'd better just not put that shit at all, because the only way to make it really understandable, for all audiences, that it's not acceptable or appropriate, just by not putting that shit at all, But if you actually showcasing every fucking moment of that, it seems more like you're trying to, like, capitalize on that shit and make more views, make more content, like you're actually trying to bring more viewers or something like this. I don't know, but it doesn't feel like you're trying to actually represent it as something unacceptable. If we see actually the just regular scene like this, we all know that this shit is just the way how any other person on this planet expresses love or something. We know that this is the common way for expressing your feelings, and this way somehow is common and acceptable because this is just a private, and this is not going anywhere, and this is not selling or buying someone for money, probably. And this could be perceived right, like it is actually just it is actually acceptable, you cannot perceive it in a wrong way, because we can see actually that even if this guy actually tried to buy Joel, but at this point he was already actually fell in love with him. So he was in love, and they actually demonstrated that it was something more than just money, and it felt that there was more than money. So I repeat it again, but if that alumni never exists, the season 8 could have been way better actually. But since it exists, actually, there is nothing uh there is nothing wrong with doing more content, about that shit. And I guess that my next video, regular one, not the stream, uh, will be something actually with this type of situations. And I will actually do something with this scene, with the swimming pool, with this party at the beginning, and we almost got a video out of these scenes, It's only about editing, mixing them, and putting good music so we can actually do something. Even though I don't like this, I can actually make a good content out of it. This is a difference. You don't need to like something to make a good content out of it. Actually, you don't like, but you can still make a beautiful content. And this is what actually any other content creator does. They are not necessarily liking something, but they're doing a lot of content out of it. They actually working even in the industry they actually didn't have to work at, and they don't like to be at. I'm talking about streaming industry. A lot of people streaming things that are not really interesting to them. You can actually notice that something is not actually that interesting to some person when that person makes less content than someone who's really enjoying what he doing. So I can see a lot of creators on YouTube that are so desperately trying to making content out of every fucking TV show or every fucking movie, even though they don't like it at all. And I think it's fucking ridiculous when you are trying to make something immediately, something just was released and you already has you already put it in your video. this is not a good way, actually. It's not necessarily to like something to make a good content, but it's definitely not a good thing when you're trying to make a content out of everything. Like, so this is why I waited for Elite. I was waiting for Elite like the whole week, and I actually I wouldn't have bothered with any other project, even if that project was pretty decent or good. I wouldn't have bothered, because I was actually waiting for Elite 8, and since we got the season, I think the next stream could be still about Elite, because there is still plenty of things that I would like to discuss, and there is still plenty of good scenes that I would like to make video of it, and I would like to make a couple of videos actually. So next time I actually will do the same type of stream, but next time you can actually you can watch the regular video, because I can make it today or tomorrow and just release it. So thank you for watching. I see you later. The same series, the same TV show, and if you didn't watch, you have plenty of times to just, get your session, complete the chapter. Even it's tough, I understand. It's not a best season. It's not enjoyable to everyone to watch. It's not enjoyable. It's not for everyone, of course, but it's not the worst season, and there are a lot of good stuff. So you can actually just, find something like you prefer better, but it's still, to me, like, Elite is something special, no matter how bad it is. I prefer actually, I prefer this series over any other. Thank you for watching, guys. See you later.